foul on Paige Bueckers. That is her first. She's first in the final 2 minutes.
Beckers and the flopping accusations in the WNBA. While Clark was calming the waters, Paige Bueckers found herself at the center of a new controversy. Just before halftime, the Wings rookie fell dramatically after a layup, clutching her head. Although she continued playing, the fall lit up social media, where fans once again accused her of exaggerating contact to draw fouls. This isn't an isolated case. In previous matchups, Beckers has been called out for similar tactics, including a flagrant foul from Sophie Cunningham that split opinions across the league. In a rivalry where every whistle is scrutinized, her actions are seen by many as strategic attempts to manipulate the referees. Let's say what she's saying after the game.
What were some of your main takeaways just from how the team managed to close out the game tonight?
Just how we relied on our defense. I thought we got good shots down the stretch. Wide open 3 from Lee, 2 pull-ups from me, and to get more reps, to get more comfortable in these moments. It's only going to make us better and to learn and grow as a team and go through these experiences together. It's just really exciting. And for us to get one on the road against a really good team and then to dig down and get stops at the end of the game. I know JJ got the game-winning stop, but collectively as a team just sticking together through all of it.
And then the offense just from start to finish had 25 assists on 30 made shots. Indiana mixed it up, like some zone in the first half. They blitzed you pretty often in the second half. Just how well do you think the offense overall executed? Like what did you like about it tonight?
Just how we were playing to advantages. They were trapping me and trying to get the ball in my hands, so playing to the 4-on-3 advantage that creates out of that. And then just people stepping up, Lee coming off the bench playing huge, Maddie stepping into the starting lineup playing huge, Mai coming in just being that leader and spark off the bench, and then everybody who contributed. It was just really a great team win, and for everybody to play a huge part in it, that was the best part about it.
And then how helpful is it having a teammate like Maddie who is able to score without needing like plays really drawn for her, like really runs the floor hard, comes up with offensive rebounds, just does a lot of that dirty work?
Yeah, she just, like you said, she's very low maintenance, but does all the things that don't show up on the stat sheet. And then like on nights like tonight, a lot of what she did show up on the stat sheet. So for her to just be consistent and know what we're getting from her every single night, her to be aggressive on both sides of the floor, being an opportunity basketball player, it's really easy to play with people like that.
And then one last one, Lee had a big game, seemed like she was really successful getting seals in the paint, and the offense was really effective at making the entry pass. Just how helpful is it when she's able to create those advantages, especially coming out of that double team up top when you're getting the ball out of your hands?
Yeah, it's really important for her to be able to stretch the floor and be a threat from the outside. It allows for defenses to have to be in a constant rotation to cover her out of a trap. And she was just aggressive. Even in the paint, she was finishing well and being aggressive. And it started on defense. I think that was the main message that we can take away from tonight, that if our defense is locked in, the offense will come. But we can always rely on our defense.
What did Stephanie White have to say after this one? Man, there's a laundry list of things that went wrong tonight. Number 1, the lineup decisions were all over the place. Number 2, the failure to call timeouts at key moments. And number 3, letting the other team go on massive runs without making any adjustments. To me, it honestly felt like Stephanie White was just out here experimenting with different combinations like it's preseason or something. But we're not in preseason. We're right at the doorstep of the playoffs. The Lynx already clinched, and as it stands right now, the Fever look like they don't even belong in the postseason conversation. They desperately, and I mean desperately, need Caitlin Clark back on the floor. I'm talking super, ultra, can't survive without her type of need. Because the way things are trending, they shouldn't even want to face any playoff caliber team right now. And yeah, we've all seen the little reports floating around about Caitlin's injury, but there's been no concrete update. It's looking like she's not coming back anytime soon, and that's bad news. Real bad. Because without her, it's getting real spooky for the Fever's season.
Third quarter, and then that big Dallas run was the difference. What did you see go sideways in that stretch?
Well, I didn't think our attention to detail on defense was very good. They got loose for some easy ones. We started fouling, getting to the free throw line, and turning the ball over. I mean, there were moments where there's no transition defense for turnovers for scores, and we had multiple in a row. I mean, 27 points off of turnovers, and I felt like our group did some uncharacteristic things with the ball in our hands, and it led to easy buckets.
You kind of just described all this, but the turnover is only 15 assists. What kind of led to the disorganization that you saw on the offensive end tonight?
Well, all of our point guards are injured. I think that's the first thing. And again, it's one of those things. Dallas turned up the pressure. I mean, defensively, they made it a little bit more difficult for us to bring down the ball and initiate offense, and became a little bit more disruptive. And we're working Odyssey into what we do, but still, it's tough because point guards are the ones who get you organized. And there were times where we weren't organized. There were times where we were over dribbling, got away from our off-ball actions and went straight to trying to go one-on-one. And that's when we're not successful or as successful as we can be. And so we got a little tunnel vision there. And that's where I say that we did some uncharacteristic things, at times.
You guys went on your own run there in the fourth, got back to obviously just the 1 point deficit. Just what changed between the third and the fourth when you guys start doing well?
I think our defensive energy, we got to forcing them into some tough shots, and we defended without fouling, and that allowed us to get out in transition. It allowed us to push the ball and get some easy buckets. I thought our ATO execution at times was really good. We, especially in that fourth quarter, we got some good looks out of it. But more than anything, again, when it starts on the defensive end, it allows us to get out and to run in transition and to play faster. And we're at our best when we do that. And especially, when we're limited with the point guard position, you're not holding on to the ball for a long time. You're passing it ahead, you're attacking, you're going.
To the point of the physicality, we even talked about it pregame. How disruptive maybe was that to both maybe the flow and what both teams were trying to do and find a rhythm out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a physical game. I think there's a double standard in how people get their calls. I think Kelsey Mitchell, number one, is held or chucked on every freaking possession and never gets a call off the ball. I think Aaliyah Boston is the worst officiated post player in the league. She never gets a call. And there's a double standard there, certainly. But again, if it's going to be physical and you're gonna allow us to be physical, then allow both teams to be physical. If you're going to call the holds and you're going to call the chucks, and you're going to then call it both ways. So I mean, I think that we've been pretty consistent in what we're asking for, and I didn't feel like it was consistent, especially for those two. I think you could call a foul every time down the floor for those two.
Pretty good. You have a quasi-transition chance late, but did you consider a timeout earlier on that last trip? Did you like your last shot? What all went into that last?
No, I mean, I wanted us to. We knew it was going to be a low clock when we got it out, and we had been really good in transition. So and we were in the penalty. So I wanted us to outlet and attack in transition. When it got to the point where we didn't attack and we just started dribbling sideways, I probably should have used it at the 3-second mark instead of a little bit later. I thought Kels might have had a baseline drive. That she ended up coming back to the middle, and so I didn't like that. But I did want us to push in transition with a low clock and limited opportunity.
Chloe was just in there, and one of the things she said is you never should have been in this position at the end. It felt that if you had been smoother, you would have had control of the game. How did you feel about that when it came down to a last shot?
Yeah, I think it's tough when you dig yourself a hole. In the first quarter and in the third quarter, we dug ourselves a hole. Turnovers for scores, easy buckets, free throws, all of those things. And, again, like I continue to be proud of the grit and toughness and resilience of this group. But, our margin for error was small to begin with, and now it's even smaller. And everybody's hungry. Dallas came in and they played really well. They shot the ball really well. They played really. They have been playing well, have just not been able to finish games. And so, for us, we our margin is small, and we've got to make sure our self-inflicted wounds, so to speak, we can't afford those. We've got to be better and more locked in from the jump.